So I'm Richard Pates, Bishop of Des Moines in Iowa, and very delighted to be able to be here in Krakow for the World Youth Day with Pope Francis and the entirety of this wonderful country of Poland.
Great, thank you. So you mentioned you've been to a World Youth Day before.
I have. I've been to 6 or 7 of them, I think.
And what keeps you coming back?
Well, the youth, our own youth, because I think for a lot of them, the experience is a defining moment of faith that they're at that particular time in their lives, usually between 18 and 30 or thereabouts, that they have a kind of experienced faith. They've come on this particular trip, they're attracted to it. Then when they get here and have the experience of what you might say the worldwide church, and so many boisterous about their faith and the spirit that is very contagious throughout all of these gatherings, that's a defining moment for them, and I think they kind of go from there. So one of our top priorities in our diocese is youth and young adults, going anywhere from 16 to 30, and so it's always a great benefit to be able to be with them.
Thank you. And what do you see are some of the fruits of the attendance at World Youth Day?
Well, I think the attendance is just the fact that the people kind of give a commitment to their faith, that when they get back then I think that they have decided this is who they truly are. They want to get involved in the church, and in that very dimension, have evangelization, that they're open to witnessing to the faith and no longer kind of, having it kind of self-contained with internally, but now they are very strongly affiliated with the church and do many good things. Also, I think a number of vocations have come from their participation in World Youth Days, and the spirit of Pope John Paul II, I think, lives on. That Benedict carried it forward, and Francis now in these days also is carrying that forward. So to see the church, to see, be among themselves too, they form a pretty tight community. We have 60 from Des Moines this year, and they kind of come together and get to know each other pretty well and establish some strong lifelong relationships as well.
Great, thank you. And so this year's theme is mercy. How do you see that acting in action in your diocese?
Well, I see it acting as an action because of the fact that this is the theme for, obviously, for the World Youth Day, but also for the Year of Mercy that the Holy Father has called the Holy Year. I think people are very much attracted to that theme, that they see the fact that, they relate and meditate on the fact of how merciful God has been to them, and that is extraordinarily important. And that you don't live solely in the world is only about yourself or what your plans are for tomorrow and the next day. But it's living within this kairos, the time of God himself, and the wonderful mercy that is extended to each of us individually, that we can share that reality, and then recognize that he has made us agents of that mercy also, that what we have received we're called to pass on, and we become much more sensitized to the needs of others. That's one of the great gifts that Pope Francis has given to our country, not to our country, surely to our country, but throughout the church, is that sensitivity now to others, and that we can reach them and enhance their lives in a very, very beautiful way, where care for them and understanding of them.
Great, thank you. And as we continue through this week, what can we, as digital pilgrims, how can we pray with you? What can we pray with you for?
Well, the digital pilgrims, nice to be able to be with all of that, which opens a whole new world for all of us. The fact is, I think that just to, identify with them and tune in when you can, try to follow the different events that they're going to have, the Stations of the Cross, and many of them will gather, I know, from the Diocese of Des Moines on the Saturday of the Vigil, that they will be with us in prayer at that particular evening. And then, of course, the huge Mass the next day. They anticipate millions of people here in Krakow to be with Pope Francis. But just to, if they could experience the spirit that is here, and very contagious and very open to people. So to pray, to interact with one another. It's great that they're gathering together as groups to do this also, and to recognize that they could benefit tremendously also from what is happening here, as it unites the entirety of the world with one spirit that the Pope brings, and that Jesus really brings about in our hearts.